Are you a projector in human design? Do you constantly feel like you have zero energy? Are you constantly tired, constantly fatigued, just constantly? Have you cracked the code of your own energy yet? That's my question to you a little bit, and that's kind of giving a bit of an introduction to this video. I am a projector. I am a self-projected projector. I'm a line 2-4, and I never have energy. I'm always exhausted. However, no, that is a fib. I never have any energy at the moment, and I am always exhausted at the moment. And I have been uncracking the code to my own energy again. Now, I did know this once. And when I look back on that time when I was tuned into this, when I was aware of this, when I was using this, and I was kind of biohacking my life via my human design energy profile, energy blueprint, I look back on those videos and things like reels and things that I was creating at the time, and I am full of energy. Kind of like I am now. There's a little hint as to where my energy comes from, but we'll get to that. Because we know, as a projector, you are told you're not a generator. You're not a manigen. You don't have a defined sacral. You don't have a defined motor. You don't have energy of your own. Get next to a generator, get next to a manigen, and you can absorb theirs and you can amplify it. Great, amazing, brilliant. But how do you, as a projector who kind of lives on her own, or lives life on her own, or is on her own, how do you generate energy? So during the day, kind of 9-5, my husband's at work, I'm at home, I'm in this house on my own. There was a time when I wasn't in this house on my own, and I was absorbing the energy of the other person in this house so much. And that really wasn't a good place for me to be. However, now that I'm on my own, I find that I have minimal energy during the day. I find that I am constantly like fatigued, tired, just all that kind of stuff. And this fatigue is getting to the point now, it has been for a while, where it's getting me down. It's beginning to really impact my life. I'm beginning to think, do I have some kind of chronic fatigue syndrome? I have had breast cancer almost 10 years ago now. Is this still impacting me now? Because it seems to have been like this long-term kind of fatigue. But then I think back to prior to breast cancer, and I think back to other parts of my life, and I've always had this element of tiredness, whether I've pushed through it or whether I've, ignored it or whatever it is that I've done. But then I see these bursts of periods of my life where I have energy, I am on fire, I am lit up, I am excited, my eyes are just shining, a little bit like maybe they are now, because I am tapped into my energy resource. And I don't know if we fully understand that, or if we fully are on board with that, or if life just sometimes gets in the way, so we get kind of caught up in life again and we forget these things. And it's only when you come back and revisit them that you're like, oh my God, I can see now that I haven't been utilizing my energy blueprint to actually create energy in my own life. Let me get a sip of coffee. So we've got a tool, we've got a chart, okay? We have a human design chart that tells us the things that light us up, the things that we are meant to do, how we absorb and amplify energy, where we absorb and amplify energy. Are we absorbing, We are, because we're projectors. So we have an undefined sacral, so we are constantly absorbing that sacral energy from other people. Are we aware of who we're actually getting that from? Is that a good source of energy? Is it not a good source of energy? You know, all that kind of stuff. And that is probably the stuff that most human design coaches, guides tell you, okay? And this is where I think I'm a little bit different, because I'm not here to be a human design coach. I'm not here to be a human design expert. What I am someone who tries to live my human design as much as possible whilst living in my real life. So I kind of define that as having one foot in the magic, one foot in the matrix, because that's kind of how I feel. I feel like I have this whole world over here that is all about the unseen and my understanding of energy and my understanding of all that. But then I have this whole world here, which is living in society, you know, working 9 to 5, you know, being aware of my food, you know, just paying bills, doing the things. And interestingly, I am split definition. So I do have these two pathways that every now and again they cross over and they connect, and there's a little bridge between them. But I have the split definition, so I am in the two pathways anyway, the two kind of thought processes of life. Thought, not thought. The two pathways, feeling pathways of currents. Currents might be the word. I don't know. Anyway. Sorry, just bit my cheek. Sorry if there was a slurpy noise. It's a bit warm. I'm just trying to cool it as I sip it. Anyway, so I have this whole world of me that is all energetics, following the energy, understanding the energy, harnessing it, navigating it, using it, doing it, blah, 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 blah. And then I have this whole other world, which is fitting in with society. So I kind of sit between them. Anyway, I'm rambling. So the reason that I come across full of energy, full of vibrancy, full of excitement doing this is because this is one of my energy generating tools, if you like. I'm not going to pretend that it's exactly that, but because it isn't like a generator. It isn't like I'm generating my own energy. I'm activating my energy. I'm activating my resources. But it's not like a generator who generates energy, okay? So I'm activating my resources. I'm using my tools to activate my inner energy, if you like, my inner flow, my inner alignment. I don't know how to word it, but I am a self-projected projector. That gives you a real tip about what I am doing right now, because I am self-projecting, okay? I am using my throat center. I'm using my throat center to speak words. And if you know anything about a self-projected projector, it's kind of all about hearing your own truth in your own voice. Now, that's all about frequency. Now, there's a lot of things I believe about the wonderful throat, because it is like your center for manifestation. It's how you speak your inner world into the outer world, all this kind of stuff. So for me, this is like the bridge. I have the two pathways. The bridge between the two is when I speak things, because I'm taking my inner world and I'm speaking it out into the outer world, okay? Now, because this is my superpower, is speaking, guess what happens when I speak? You can see it. I light up. The energy within me just starts to flow. My cells are buzzing around my body. Everything within me comes to life when I am speaking from my G center. Okay? Now, this is another key part of my human design. Okay? My G center has to be the driving force of this. If I have something written out here, and I am reading it, or I've written a lot of notes and I'm reading from it, it's not coming from my G center, okay? It might have come from my G center when I wrote it, but I can't speak it from my G center again, which is why everything that I tend to do on here tends to be a free flow. It tends to be just a chat around a topic, which is where we are now. If I am more structured and more planned and prepared in what I do, then that is coming from up here somewhere. It's coming from like my eyes, okay? My eyes are reading the thing, my brain's processing the thing, and then the thought is coming from that, like the noise, the frequency is coming from up here. It's not coming from here. It's coming from here. Does that make sense? Anyway, so doing this gives me energy. When I am not speaking, my energy drops. My energy drops into the doldrums when I am not speaking from my G center, okay? So having an outlet for doing this actually gives me energy, okay? The other thing with me, and this actually comes from my gene keys. So within my gene keys, it does actually tell me that my mind is nothing. My mind is nothing. My mind means nothing. I am all about the body. And I suspect a lot of people are, but what I mean like by this, there is no point me gathering wisdom. There is no point me studying, me understanding, me doing things if my body is not moving, because I am not gonna embody anything. I'm not gonna integrate anything. I'm not gonna become anything from the information I've learned. I am just like this receptor that's just gurging out like pointless information almost. When I am moving, my body integrates my wisdom. My wisdom comes from my body, not from my head. So the more I move, the more I am lit up, the more I activate energy within me. So if I am tired, I have two tools right now, okay? One, why am I tired? Okay, I'm tired because I didn't sleep last night. Okay, that's a whole other topic. We're not going into dream rave right now, but that's a whole other topic. Projectors and sleep. Don't rely on your sleep, okay? Your sleep, you know, is not restful. It does not replenish you. You have to plug your battery in when you wake up in the morning, okay? And you plug your battery, I plug my battery in by moving, hitting the gym, going on the rowing machine, doing something, okay? If I do not start my day with that, I will not get energy to get through the day. Okay, 2, speak. Nearly every time that I record these kind of videos where they are truly just off the cuff, just me working through something, it is usually when I'm doing my makeup. It might be when I have literally just sat down with a coffee, like I am now, because this is when this is activating me. Now, the next time that you might find that I speak into camera might be around kind of lunchtime because I'm fading, okay? And then at evening, I hit the gym again. I go do 15 minutes row because it is moving my energy. Now, that is how I kind of create energy from my own inner self, okay? There is an energy that comes from the outer world back to me too, and that is the recognition, okay? Now, couple of things to be aware of when it comes to recognition, and this is something that's really powerful. The most powerful recognition for a projector is actually the recognition of themselves. You need to recognize who you are, how amazing you are, how powerful you are, and when you recognize that and you sit on that frequency and you share that energy, that is when others will recognize you. But if you don't even recognize yourself and you are hiding yourself because you don't recognize who you are, trust me, the people out there cannot connect with you to give you that kind of recognition and to invite you to something. Okay? So, yes, as a projector, you need to be aware of what you're eating, because what you eat gives you energy. If you are eating white bread day in, day out, and nothing else, trust me, there's no energy in your body. Yes, your food that you absorb will give you energy. The energy of the people around you that you absorb will give you energy. The energy of the collective can give you energy. It's kind of borrowed energy, okay? Drinking water. You've got to get the water in your body. You've got to get the cells flowing around. If your cells can't move because there's no fluid for them to move in. You ain't gonna feel good, okay? Don't rely on your sleep. Don't rely on your sleep. I have learned that so much. That has been a massive, massive learning curve and understanding for me, is how to not rely on my sleep. It's not saying don't go to bed, because you need that rest. Your body needs that rest, but don't rely on sleep to replenish your energy levels, because it won't as a projector, okay? So what tools can we activate to give us energy? Okay, first of all, movement. Okay, body movement, movement of the throat. Okay, sing along to your favorite song, dance around like an idiot, do all the things, get in the gym, go for a run, do the things. Then speak. For me, I just realized as I said it, I was like, I know I got a bit passionate there, but what is your superpower? If mine is speaking, because I am a self-projected projector, what is your superpower? Tap into that. Use that as the tool to generate energy. Okay? And come back to, well, don't come back to me, but do come back to me. If, I'm really intrigued to know this. I so see how using that superpower actually lights me up. You can see it on the camera. I am absolutely certain, because when I turn this camera off and I settle back down in half an hour of being quiet, I'll be like that. My energy will have gone. Everything will have faded. When I speak, I'm like this. So what's your superpower? Tap into it, use it. How can you use it? How can you bring it into various pieces of your day, of your life, so that you can speak and you can come to life? Say speak again. Sorry. I'm trying to make it kind of like not just about me, even though I am a self-projected projector, so everything is about me, especially when I'm speaking. But, tap into your superpower, use that. And understand how to bring that into your world so that you can create energy. Okay? I can't tell you how to do it. Okay? I don't truly, if I am honest, I don't think anyone can tell you how to do it. You can go and find 10 coaches, 10 human design coaches out there, okay? And they will tell you what they think textbook-wise you should do, okay? I can probably guide a self-projected projector to this, because I understand what it feels like to be a self-projected projector, okay? But I don't understand what it feels like to be a mental projector, okay? But you do. If you understand what it feels like to be living in your design. Tap into that and use it to generate energy for yourself. Activate energy, because we can't generate it. But keep thinking about plugging yourself in. That's how I think about it. I wake up in the morning, I am not replenished. My iPhone has not been plugged in overnight, okay? It's flat, it needs charging. How am I going to charge it? What are the things that give me energy, that light me up? Bring those into my day, bring those into my morning. And then when I fade as the day goes along, then I bring them back and I do it again. And then when I fade, I do it again. I bring them back, because we don't have long-term energy, okay? We don't. And, people say all the time projectors need to rest, okay? Yes, go lay down for half an hour. Go do it. Go lay down horizontal. Get your, It's get your hips above your shoulders or something, isn't it? Can't remember, knees above your shoulder. Anyway, I don't know. One of them, I think it's knees. Is it knees above your shoulder? I don't know. But basically it means lay down flat and rest for a little bit. Allow yourself to do that. What can you do while you're doing that would light you up, So anyway, that's ended up being 20 minutes of me rambling. I've probably got quite a lot from that, self-projected projector. This isn't anything new, guys, to me, but when we're absorbing this collective energy all the time, and the collective energy is telling us to be a generator, to be a manigen, to be a manifester, which is the collective energy all the time. That's the society we live in. Then it's so easy when we're not intentional and aware and in control of our own energy to start leaning into that and becoming that again, And then we have to decondition from it again. That's where I am. I've allowed it, like I've just said. I had someone living here. That person was a manigen. That manigen in my home over that kind of couple of years changed me massively. And I am coming back around. I'm having to decondition from that experience. You know? So I'm coming back around. I'm relearning. I'm refreshing myself. I'm relearning all this stuff. Anyway. Hi, I'm Gail. I'm a self-projected projector. I call myself the energy-led woman. This is my channel. Subscribe if you kind of like my vibe. Oh. Subscribe if you like my vibe. Catch you later.